mention that if you haven't been here before, that our restrooms are just out this door, down the hall, and to your left. I'm going to try to do this with the non-handheld mic. If you cannot hear me, please let me know and we'll turn that back on. Good afternoon. Can y'all hear me? Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Are you going to try that? Okay, maybe I'll go with the handheld mic. How's that? All right. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the San Antonio Food Bank. My name is Emily DeMaria. I'm the relatively new Chief Programs Officer here at the Food Bank, and it's my honor to oversee all of the programming under our framework of providing food for today, food for tomorrow, and food for a lifetime. That includes all of our direct food distribution programs, our wonderful culinary operations, client services, helping neighbors apply for SNAP and other benefits, nutrition education, as well as our workforce development program, which is why we're here today. It is my pleasure to welcome you here to our graduation and recognition ceremony. I can't think of a better way to spend an afternoon than celebrating the amazing accomplishment of today's graduates. Today, I'm excited to say that we're graduating 6 unique classes in partnership with Ready to Work San Antonio. San Antonio Food Bank will graduate warehouse training programs 8, 9, and 10, and culinary training program classes 11, 12, and 13. Across programs, we will graduate a total of 22 students today. Please join me in welcoming them with a round of applause. It is important in all parts of our life to stop and show gratitude for the world around us that gives us life. In honor of that, I would like to introduce Kelly King, the Interfaith Engagement Manager for the San Antonio Food Bank, who will lead us in a few moments of gratitude for our meal.
Welcome. Welcome to the family members, colleagues, advocates and supporters, and most importantly to our graduates. If we could just all gather ourselves a little bit in silence and just take a moment, close your eyes, take a deep breath. Let us give thanks for our graduates, their courage and their commitment, and their determination to see a new future for themselves. Let us give thanks to the family and friends who have provided support in a variety of ways. Let us give thanks for our future, one filled with hope and determination to improve ourselves, our families, and our communities. And lastly, may our tables always be full, our company be joyful, and that the success you have today is only the beginning of your journey. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much, Kelly. If you haven't already, I know you just sat down, we invite you to begin enjoying your meal. Next up, our marketing and communications team has created a video that encapsulates the wonderful work that's being celebrated at today's ceremony. Please enjoy.
Hey, it's Eric with your San Antonio Food Bank, and you know, when it comes to giving help, we frame our work into 3 areas of food for today, food for tomorrow, and food for a lifetime. That food for today work is getting groceries and meals to families. Tomorrow is all about public benefits like SNAP and WIC. But that 3rd area of our work, food for a lifetime, it's really about workforce development, job training, job placement. Hunger isn't as much a food issue as it is an income issue. So when people can get access to training, to get meaningful employment, livable wages, that reduces the number of people needing our services. So here at the San Antonio Food Bank, we offer 2 training programs, one in culinary arts, the other in warehouse management. You know, culinary arts, there's a lot of restaurants, hotels, caterers needing employees, and those that go through that program graduate with skills that can make them productive in any kitchen. The warehouse training program, you're learning a little bit about inventory, warehouse management, sanitation. The logistics industry needs people, and graduates from this program can enter into that industry to be a viable part of the supply chain. You know, it's all about moving people forward to a place of self-sufficiency and self-reliance, access to a livable wage that ultimately gets them out of that line. That's what we try to do to make sure that we are bringing a community together that thrives.
With the students that we have, our limited class size allows for us to do more one-on-one instruction. So the students that come in here, they get a one-to-one with the trainer, and they get to learn all aspects of the warehouse, from how to select an order to unload a truck, to getting on a forklift for most of the day and getting that hands-on training that you might not get at other places that you get hired onto right away. We teach them everything from a hand jack or a hand pallet jack to an electric jack, also a rider jack, a sit-down forklift, and even a reach truck that reaches up to our 30-foot ceilings. 95% of the students have earned their forklift license and their class certificate. I'm confident that any trainee that comes into our program that is interested in learning and wants to move to the next level, that they can learn enough to go work in any warehouse in the city.
In our 10 weeks, we cover the basic culinary skills through the French technique, so knife skills, sauces, soups. I also include a unit on recipe writing, costing, purchasing, and business segments so people can have a head start in starting a business. It is certified by the Texas State Workforce Commission and also through the American Culinary Federation as a quality training program. The goal is to get people hired in the industry and get them gainfully employed. All you really need is the desire, the passion, the want to learn. And we take it from there and skill up. And those skill sets last a lifetime. It doesn't matter if they go into French cuisine or Asian or baking, it's still foundational, so they still will be drawing back on their original stock making, sauce making, sauteing. Cooking is a lifelong skill set, and if you know how to cook and how to manipulate ingredients, you can cook healthier, you can cook nutritious, and you can do it on a budget. So it almost has a dual purpose in there. Everyone's got to eat, and if you can cook for yourself, you just take that much more control of your life.
I'd like to recognize some of our partners and guests in attendance today. First, a super big shout out to the families and guests of our graduating class. Thank you for supporting our graduates through this learning experience. I'd like to thank our friends at Cisco Foods for giving each culinary graduate a chef jacket with their names embroidered. Ooh, that's right, they look sharp. Our partners with Five Oaks A-Smart donating the gifts to each warehouse graduate. US Foods for their contributions to our menu. Starbucks for the coffee donation along with hands to serve the meal. Our Ready to Work partners at Workforce Solutions Alamo Board, Workforce Solutions Alamo C2, Family Services Association, Chrysalis Ministries, YWCA, Avance, Texas A&M at San Angelo, our own Catalyst Catering for helping to prepare the meal today. Representing our San Antonio Food Bank Board of Directors, Matthew Bommersbach. Thank you for being here, sir. Representing San Antonio Food Bank Hospitality Committee, Kim Beechner from Embark Marketing, Nicola Block and Cornelius Massey from the Jerk Shack. Our other special guests include Gary Rice and Denise Gonzalez from Silver Ventures and Hospitality Academy, Thomas Labatt and Monica DeLonde of Labatt, Kylie Burns, Steve Mosley, and Maureen Guido from Cisco, Kelly Bushacker and Victor Alanis from South Texas Blood and Tissue, Ernest Hoover and Alexandra Hoover from International Paper, Jason, Laura, and Alita from US Foods, Angie Gutierrez and Crystal Angeles from Banana Distributing, Joseph Campbell and Kina Garcia from IKEA, Roxanne Mejeras and Kaina Garza, along with Kylie Burns from Bill Miller Barbecue, Amanda Arce and Barclay Anthony from Sea Island Shrimp House, Don Larios from San Antonio Restaurant Association Director, Blanca Aldaco and Allison Balfour, Executive Board Members, San Antonio Restaurant Association. Suleiman Tech, Raindrop Foundation, and University of the Incarnate Word. Volunteers serving our meal today are Starbucks, members of the San Antonio Food Bank staff, and our culinary class number 14, led by Chef Greg Williams. Let's give them all a big round of applause. As you can see, it takes a wide, diverse range of partners to really make this happen, and we really appreciate all that you do to support us and our graduates. At this time, I would like to introduce our guest speaker, Associate Pastor of City Church, John Pyle. John believes that every person is a masterpiece. I love that, John. And encourages everyone to achieve their potential and live their purpose. John currently serves as the community care pastor at City Church San Antonio, where he helps everyone feel welcome at church, regardless of their spiritual journey. John also creates a plethora of digital content, works with the San Antonio Food Bank leading the annual Feed SA initiative, serves as a board member for 2 nonprofit organizations, and once made the mistake of trying to coach both of his kids' teams at the very same time. My hat's off to you, my friend. His mission is to care for souls in the digital age, anchored by a stubborn conviction that nobody created by God is expendable. John met his wife Amanda in college, married her in 2004, moved to San Antonio in 2008, and eventually they added 2 awesome boys to the world. Please welcome John Pyle.
Thank you so much. And let me start by answering the question, how did this happen? I saved my mom from a foul ball at a Little League baseball game. That's the story we're gonna go with, all right? Didn't catch it though. That's gonna bother me for the rest of my life. Greetings, and let me start with a hearty congratulations to our graduates today. It's so exciting. Congratulations, it's huge, and thank you for their families. This is a wonderful achievement that you should be really proud of. And I know that, Chef Greg and a bunch of other people probably said it, but let me add to say that I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. We don't say that enough to each other. I'm proud of y'all for doing this. It's quite an achievement. Now, maybe that doesn't mean a lot right now. I'm not in the culinary world. I can't hire you for my restaurant or my warehouse. I'm just some big, bald stranger that kind of looks like Shrek. Yeah, don't think too much about it. It's gonna bother you the rest of the day. And I'm not Chef Greg. I'm the other big, bald guy that you guys get a chance to see. He's got a goatee. But let me tell you, I eat at so many restaurants, like all the time. Maybe you can tell if you look like the full view, not hiding behind the podium, right? And I heard them introduce so many people from different restaurants. I'm like, ooh, I've eaten there. Oh, I like that. Ooh, I should go back to the Jerk Shack. That sounds good. You know what sounds great? It's IKEA meatballs right now. Food is important, right? Pursuing a career in food service, whether it's in a kitchen or a warehouse, is a noble pursuit because food brings us as human beings together in a unique way, like nothing else can. There's something about sharing a meal or getting food for dinner, preparing a meal that touches us deeply in our being. Beyond physical, beyond emotional, to the deepest part of who we are. I call that the soul. And I believe that everyone has a soul. And I'm not here to convince you for religious reasons or try to convince you of any kind of faith, just that each of us has a part of us that's beyond what we can see, hear, smell, or touch. A part that connects to something much bigger than ourselves. And there's nothing more important than our soul. Sadly, that is a part of us that is often neglected at work. Our souls can get crushed under the weight of efficiency, or performance, or profits. Our bosses, managers, and coworkers, they can make us absolutely miserable, can't they? Don't look at your boss if your boss is here when he said that. I believe the work that we do connects to our soul. The deepest part of us, this deeper part of us, is connected to the work that we do. Dr. Katie Cannon once said, "Do the work that your soul must have." And it's a great quote, but I do want to amend it just a little because that's a little impractical. Okay? Because I don't know if you guys know, we have to pay bills and stuff, right? Wouldn't it be nice if we could just do whatever our soul wanted us to do that day? It's a little impractical just to think that way, but it would be great if we could choose a job based on our souls, not our paycheck, but I know a lot of us are not able to do that. We gotta put food on the table, we gotta do something to provide for ourselves and our families, and that work is still incredibly important to your soul. So instead, I'm gonna amend the quote a little bit and say, do your work with your soul in mind. Or maybe even more simply, don't forget your soul while you work. It's a part of who we are, and it's the deepest part of what we do. And the kind of work that you're doing with food service, whether it's in a warehouse, a kitchen, bussing tables, cleaning up and sanitation, whatever it is, when you do work with food, you do work that touches people's soul. Have you ever been to the kind of restaurant where you taste it and you go, man, there's something else about this food, there's something more, there's love baked into it? Right? Maybe on Sunday you had a family tradition of going to grandma's house and there was some beans on the stove, and somehow you can never get beans to taste like her beans, even though they're just like the cheap beans from H-E-B or whatever, but she somehow seasons it with love. When you work in a warehouse, when you work in a kitchen, you can season all kinds of food with love, and you might never see the experience that somebody has with that food, whether they're gathered at a dinner table gathered with their family around a dinner table, or they're gathered with friends and colleagues at a restaurant, or whether they're catching a meal alone for some needed rest from their workday. The work that you're doing seasons the soul with love. Food work seasons the soul with love, and I'm so thankful that y'all are doing that. And it also can be something that as we're doing that work, it invests in our soul. It can be the why behind what we're doing, because sometimes jobs in food service aren't glamorous, right? They're not the cool like TikTok jobs where it's like, hey, doing dishes at 11 p.m., right? They might not be that. But you can still do the kind of work, you can do that kind of work that feeds your soul if you remember the why behind it. And when I talk about the why, it might be your why for being there. Because you wouldn't have completed a program like this if you didn't have a why. All of our graduates, you're here because you want something bigger and better for yourselves and for your family. You want something meaningful. You want something with dignity where when you go to work, you return home and you say, I did something good that day. And so you are seasoning people's souls with love, right? But there's also a soul in what you do when you invest in everything that you're doing. So a quick story. A few years ago, not that long ago, I guess it was a long time ago. Shoot, wow, I'm getting old. I'm gonna have an existential crisis in just a moment. But I was unemployed for a period of time, and that was one of the most difficult parts of my life. Struggling with work or not being at the right place can be difficult for all of us. Being unemployed can be difficult, and it felt like a part of me, something deeper within me was at stake. It wasn't just a job, it wasn't just a paycheck, it was something deeper. And while in reality it was probably about 4 months, as my wife likes to remind me, it felt like 3 years. It felt so long. And she only reminds me, not to give me a hard time, she reminds me because I maybe sometimes pastorally exaggerate a little bit. Have you ever known pastors to do that? Maybe exaggerate? But during that time, it really felt like a trial for my soul. And so the only reason I share this is that I know that you became a part of one of these programs to move from wherever you are, whatever career field you might be in, even if it's in the same career field, to something better. And I want to connect with the idea that this work is important to your soul because the why behind it matters. The why can keep us going in everything that we're doing. Now, every day at work is not going to be sunshine, lollipops, rainbows, and puppies. In fact, if you work at a warehouse, it shouldn't be puppies. Did we cover that in the curriculum? There probably shouldn't be puppies in the warehouse, okay? It's not going to be a beautiful day every time you go. There are going to be difficult things at work. There are going to be challenging things that you get a chance, that you do all the time. But when you focus on something bigger than yourself, when you connect with the why behind the work that you're doing, when you don't leave your soul behind, you can have perspective to get through those difficult days at work. You can have the perspective to continue moving forward toward the goal that you started however many months ago and are going to continue, hopefully, for the rest of your life. So I want to encourage you guys, as I wrap up here, to do work with your soul in mind. Don't leave your soul at home when you go to work. And hopefully I'll see you out there in a warehouse or a restaurant, and I will try to tip well. Thank you. And now I get to call up my brother from another mother. The other wonderful, handsome bald man, this one with the goatee.
Thank you. Never, ever follow John in any speaking because it's just embarrassing now. So, I'm Chef Greg. I have the privilege and honor, I get to introduce the student speaker. It's always a hard person to pick because I've got so many great students, so many people that have great stories. The man I'm going to be introducing in just a second taught me sort of the lesson of strength, survivability, humility, being humble, and just showing up every day and giving that little extra bit. And again, it's just a true pleasure to work with. So it is a privilege and an honor to introduce Teague Millett from class 14. Also, bald and beautiful. It's a theme, isn't it?
All righty. Here we go. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming. I would like to start by saying thank you to the San Antonio Food Bank with the hopes, hospitality, opportunities for people in our society, and the SA Ready to Work program. It was a blessing getting a chance to be in both programs. I came to this program due to a prison term where Mr. Andy Cuellar visited our facility and offered us a job training opportunity with the HOPES program. I took a chance and here I am. Knowing the challenges I would have, I joined the Culinary Arts program. I knew I had to motivate myself to make the class for the next 10 weeks. It would be to be able to succeed and have a better future with the help of both my case managers, Andy Cuellar and Ms. Ruby Galvan. They encouraged me to make it through the program, helped me with any barriers that came my way without question. I want to thank Chef Greg Williams, my instructor, who showed me skills to succeed in a high-demand kitchen and how to market myself for the best pay. I was taught classical culinary knife skills, sauces, cooking, and baking techniques. I agree, it was hard at times, but he always helped us make it through. I was able to gain my Safe Service Manager certification, my TABC certification that will give me a better opportunity to make more pay with employers. I'm in my jobs search stage of my training, being consistent with my visits with my case manager, Ms. Ruby Galvan, where she has been giving me the proper job interviewing skills so I can apply them on my own in the job interviewing process. I have had a few interviews, but I'm looking for the job that fits me. In closing, I would like to give my thanks to all the helping hands that made these programs possible. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great afternoon.
Thank you so much, Teague, for sharing your story with us.
Want to give this a try?
Okay. Okay, thank you so much, Teague, for sharing your story with us. So inspirational. Next up, we'd like to introduce the president and CEO of your San Antonio Food Bank, Eric Cooper. Known as that food bank guy, Eric Cooper is the president and CEO of the San Antonio Food Bank. Through his dual strategies of feeding the line and shortening the line, Eric has received national recognition. It is this holistic approach to serving the entire community that has generated community support while delivering measurable impact. Eric serves as a board member for Feeding Texas and Feeding America, the largest hunger relief organization in the United States. Locally, he was appointed to serve on the board of Workforce Solutions Alamo and the San Antonio Housing Trust, leveraging food, housing, and employment. Eric is a strong advocate for early childhood development and education. And I want to just add a personal note that I have worked in the food bank network before, and Eric's reputation definitely precedes him, and the network knows far and wide that he's helping the entire nation move in the right direction with food banking, so thank you. Eric works tirelessly at the federal, state, and local level to reduce rates of food insecurity and poverty, believing that everyone should have access to good nutrition. Serving on the front lines, he is a believer in the power of service to not only help those in need, but to heal those who serve. He is a man of faith and family. He and his wife, Erin, of 30 years, have 5 children, Madison, Morgan, Gabriel, Elijah, and Meredith. I'd like to bring Eric Cooper up to the stage. Thank you.
Thank you, Emily. Can you guys hear me all right? Yep. There you go, sir. All right, can you guys hear me okay? Hey, wow. Thanks for the introduction. I really prefer the food bank guy. It is incredible time of the year for us in San Antonio with Fiesta, spring, the time of renewal and rebirth, to be here with graduates from our programs. I always am thinking how lucky I am and how blessed and fortunate we all are to be in this great nation, to be able to enjoy an incredible meal. Today, as a part of some assignments through the Battle of Flowers Association, was asked to be the Grand Marshal of the Battle of Flowers Parade. And so really humbled because it is an opportunity for me to represent every single person behind the food bank. And it starts with our incredible board, my amazing staff, our volunteers and our donors, everyone that makes this organization great, which includes the students. And so I was over at one of the pre-K facilities just about an hour ago where a bunch of 3-year-olds pummeled me with some cascarones. And I was just like, there was confetti in my nose and my mouth. So if I look a little rough, it's because of them. But I just, when it comes to graduations, we've had a long, long history of training in the space of culinary arts. And Teague, when I heard you speak, and I think about this audience and how many incredible restaurant tours there are, I just hope that you connect with someone today and that right fit and that right job is landed. So I looked around to see some of our great partners, and I know they want to connect with you, with your other classmates, and making sure that we get you into the right space. And Warehouse isn't a place for puppies, but the warehouse feeds puppies, in that as you all went through that class, you know the incredible inventory that flows through your San Antonio Food Bank, which includes pet food that goes to families with that 4-legged family member. And so it's a privilege to do that with our great partners at Daisy Cares. All right, so the message today is oftentimes at a graduation, it goes down like this. Thank you, Food Bank, for giving me the opportunity to come to this class and change my life. And I had trouble dating and no one wanted to hang out with me, but now I got these culinary skills that now everybody comes to my place, they want to be fed. I'm dating this amazing person now. I think it's just for the food. And thank you, right? And then on our side, it's like, no, thank you. You went through this training program, you helped us on our mission, you showed up every day, you completed the course, but because you were here, we can feed 105,000 people each week. We could not do this logistically in the warehouse, we could not do this in the preparation of food that's going to feeding sites if our students didn't help us with our mission. So we thank them because our mission doesn't roll unless they show up. To the family members that are here supporting the graduates, you sacrificed, you gave rides, you supported homework, you gave space for your student to be successful and encouraged and supported them in ways that are so appreciated from all of us at the San Antonio Food Bank. So it's this exchange of thank you, no, thank you, no, thank you, that I wanted to share this legendary story that occurred downtown at the Luby's at San Pedro. You guys ever eaten at that Luby's? Yeah, great tradition, great food service company. But when this gentleman went to Luby's, he was looking to get the Luann, right? You know, counting calories. But as he went through the line, he noticed a wonderful piece of key lime pie and just couldn't help himself. So got the key lime pie and got his drink and loaded it up on his tray. And then, as you guys know, you're checking out, you see that incredible dining room, found him a place in the corner to have a seat. And as he put his tray down, he said, man, I better go wash up and hit the restroom. So he went to take care of that. And, you know, that corridor of our city, which I was just there at the Whataburger, giving him some Grand Marshal love there on Cypress. And, but there's, you know, some shelters, some of our great partners, Salvation Army, American GI Forum. And so because of that, there's a lot of our neighbors who struggle with housing in that area. And so individuals make their way into those businesses. And to the surprise of this customer of Luby's, as he got back to his tray, he noticed that a homeless man had sat down at his place and was actually starting to eat his food. And so he watched him for a minute and then, you know, thought, this is crazy, right? Went over and literally just sat down across the table from him. And he watched him as he started to devour his meal. He thought, this is just insane, right? This guy's eating my food, and I bet he's gonna eat my key lime pie, and so I'm, you know, just gonna watch. And so as he watched, and the gentleman started to say, hey, you know, this is my name, and introduced himself, and then just said, you know, are you hungry? And he said, well, you know, no, I'm all right. And he goes, well, you've been looking at the pie. Would you like the pie? And he's like, well, yeah, you know. In his mind, he's like, I bought it, right? And so he sat and enjoyed the slice of pie while this gentleman finished the rest of his plate. And then he said, well, it's great talking to you. And the homeless guy got up and walked away. Well, you know, he just sat there just bewildered, right? Like, this was the most crazy experience I've ever had. Like, you know, this guy stole my meal, and it's just insane. And so he was gonna call his wife and tell her, like, yeah, I just had this crazy experience. But as he was getting up and walking out, he took a glance at the other corner and realized there was a tray of the same meal with the same key lime pie. And that as he left the restroom, he just got a little disoriented in the restaurant and sat at the wrong place. And so as he came to that full understanding of his environment that sometimes happens to all of us when we think of who is really benefiting from this transaction. And oftentimes those that have the least give the most, who are willing to share and partake a bit of their substance and share with a neighbor in need. And so that great story represents, I think, this exchange that we see every day at the food bank. People that have, people that don't have, and how together we're all nourished. The beauty of that transaction is that both sides are healed when there's an extension of love. And this year's Battle of Flowers theme is Viva Amor in 2024. The food bank has a tradition of food is love. And there, I think there's no greater expression of what love is in a physical manifestation than a creation from someone who took the time to prepare a meal.
When someone has done that work to create a meal, the greatest expression returned is to consume it. There is nothing more painful than when food is wasted, because in my mind, it's wasted love. And so our mission is to make sure food never goes to waste. So when you have that opportunity, don't let it go to waste. Eat what you need, share what you can. And that's my hope. Thank you all. Have a great fiesta.
Thanks, Eric. All right, well, I'm excited because at this time we will begin with the presentation of the diplomas to our culinary training program and warehouse training program graduates. Graduates, when I call your name, please come forward to accept your certificate. Lori Bullock, class of 13. Little change up of the word. Congratulations. Jaden Caldwell, class of 12. Congratulations. Joshawn Markham, class of 13. Teague Millett, class of 13. Johnny Perez, class of 12. Owen Sankey, class of 13. I'm going to do a quick check on our culinary graduates. Did I miss anyone? Okay. Next, our warehouse graduates. We have Adam Martinez, class of 9. Oh. Come on, Joshua. Now, and we have Joshua Esparza, class of 13.
Where are you? There you are.
We had a little bit of change up there at the end, so my apologies.
Get in here, buddy.
Congratulations, Joshua. Okay, now we're to warehouse. Sorry about that, y'all. Adam Martinez, class of 9. And Kimberly Silas, class of 12. quick check and see if any of our other warehouse graduates are here with us today. Okay. I wanted to take a moment to recognize another special guest who joined us today, Judge Camacho from Frio County. Thank you for being here today and joining us. Well, thank you so much, everyone. In closing, we want to offer just a giant congratulations to these graduating classes. We wish y'all the best of luck in your future endeavors, and please know that even though your education through the program here has ended, you're always going to be members of the San Antonio Food Bank family. So we appreciate you. We're excited for you. Please keep us posted on your journey. Be safe, God bless, and keep fighting hunger and feeding hope. Thank you for joining us today.